Republican Representative Jim Banks is ready to impeach President Joe Biden and expunge former President Donald Trump's own impeachments. He said as much after being asked during a Breitbart interview this week about the latest evidence concerning Biden and his alleged crimes. "It's time to impeach him. The evidence was already there. But this is further evidence that this is the type of high crimes and misdemeanors that should prevent this man from serving any day longer in the White House than what he already has," he said. Recall that the first impeachment of Trump was predicated on the notion that he tried to bribe Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for dirt on Biden. The then president had pushed back on this accusation by claiming he'd just been digging for information on crimes he believed Biden may have committed. Banks' point was that Trump had been right to go digging for information, because it turns out, according to Republican investigators, that Biden did commit many of the crimes he's been accused of committing. At the same time that we impeach Joe Biden, it's also time to expunge the fake impeachment against Donald J. Trump at the same time as well. I'm all for expunging those Trump impeachments too, Banks continued. He added that there are way too many Republicans, especially on Capitol Hill, that want to just ignore the Biden corruption. They'd rather move forward onto other things, thus allowing the Democrats to go unscathed once more, Senator Chuck Grassley being one rare exception. Grassley deserves an award for his leadership and staying focused on holding Joe Biden accountable, Banks said. So likely do Elise Stefanik and Marjorie Taylor Greene, two House Republicans who have already introduced legislation to expunge Trump's record. The resolution is based on the assertion that the facts and circumstances upon which articles of impeachment were based neither met the burden of proving that President Trump committed high crimes and misdemeanors nor established that President Trump engaged in insurrection of rebellion against the United States. According to a press release from Stefanik's office, President Donald Trump was rightfully acquitted, and it is past time to expunge Democrats' sham smear against not only President Trump's name, but against millions of patriots across the country, Stefanik likewise said in a statement. In a statement of her own, Greene focused on Trump's first impeachment. The first impeachment of President Trump was a politically motivated sham. The Democrats, led by Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, weaponized a perfect phone call with Ukraine to interfere with the 2020 election. Meanwhile, the FBI had credible evidence of Joe and Hunter Biden's corrupt dealings, confirming their involvement in a foreign bribery pay-to-play scheme and receipt of over $5 million each, she said. All of this information was revealed to Congress by the FD 1023 form from the FBI's most credible informant. The form vindicates President Trump and exposes the crimes of the Biden family, stated Greene. It's clear that President Trump's impeachment was nothing more than a witch hunt that needs to be expunged from our history. I'm proud to work with Chairwoman Elise Stefanik on our joint resolutions to correct the record and clear President Trump's good name, she added. Banks was pleased by this legislation, telling Breitbart that it's completely warranted, and calling for everyone to be put on the spot about where they stand on this issue. Either you do believe in the rule of law and you do believe that those who are corrupted and abuse their power, like Joe Biden and the Biden family, should be held accountable, or you don't, he said. I mean, again, they impeached him because he was right about the Ukraine corruption with the Biden family. And I think that should motivate us this week. Put the Elise Stefanik resolution on the floor and force Republican members of the House to vote on it, vote for or against it, he added. Banks further noted that pressure is also now mounting on his colleagues to do something about Biden's blatant corruption. The evidence is clearly there that Joe Biden is the most corrupt president in American history, and his abuse of power, and Hunter Biden. The real story is that Joe Biden made so much money, millions of dollars, from the corruption of Hunter Biden selling access to the big guy, to Joe, he said. Congressional Republicans have thus far introduced 4 separate bills to impeach the current president, but none of them have moved forward yet. I'm not in leadership. I don't have influence over that. But count me in the growing column of Republicans in Congress who believe this is so important and absolutely necessary to move forward with impeachment hearings," Banks said.